Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's out of breath edition of the Wellness Homesteader. Y'all, I apologize. I'll just give you a really quick health update because I get tired of talking about it. I'm sure you get tired of hearing about it. And wow, is my hair ever going in silver? Yeah, y'all. But that's okay. At least I have hair, even though more than half has fallen out. My bun is significantly smaller. So I am taking a medication called Imfinzi. It is an immunotherapy drug for the type of lung cancer I have. You looking outside, Frankie? Sorry, he's looking for his girlfriend. Pretty kitty. Anyway, it's not without side effects. And a few days ago, and this is why we haven't had videos, I started with severe shortness of breath, like feeling like I was suffocating, which is totally new. And I had seen Dr. Alishram, my pulmonologist, a week ago Monday, and he cautioned me about this. And when I'm like, is this sympathetic symptoms? But I have a way to measure my oxygen level. And guys, for any of you that are nurses or that know about oxygen levels, they should be between 95 and 100. Mine have been dipping as low as 69 is the lowest it's been, but dipping into the 70s, which is panic time for me. I feel like I can't breathe. Thankfully, I have oxygen, and that has gotten me through. So I sent a message to him Sunday night, and he got back with me yesterday morning and said, here's the treatment, the steroids, which it's 40 milligrams a day. Guys, I might not sleep for a month, but that's okay. And I can tell a difference already. And I only had one yesterday because it took the pharmacy a while to get it. Anyway, y'all just have to do what I can do. I can't always film because I get so out of breath with talking, or I just feel so bad. And I hope y'all will understand. But what I haven't forgotten is our budget. And we're going to do something kind of fun. I am going to share with you some of my successes, some of my challenges for the month of August. So if you're on Social Security, y'all know that depending on the first letter of your last name is when you get paid. So today is actually payday. My bank puts it in 2 days early, but I'm not even counting that it's in there because I haven't wrapped up August. And best I can tell, I may have one more August bill to pay, which is unrelated to the chronic hiccups I have. Y'all, I am so sorry. So what I did was I kept track of all of my monthly expenses day to day. And I'm really pleased, y'all. Look how few there are. Y'all, if I had a nickel or maybe like $50 for every time I put stuff in my Amazon cart and deleted it in the last month because it's habit and I don't want to be that way, I would have a lot of money. But at any rate, I don't feel deprived, y'all. I have a house full of stuff and it's really been an adventure to see how much less I can spend. So I'm doing really, really well. This month, for the month of August, even where I am, and I'm ahead of where I started the month when you take out my Social Security check, I'm $900 ahead and 22 and that I'm going to play the game with, right? That tells me, first of all, August is not a quarterly heavy bill month. September is, but that tells me just how much I was spending that I didn't need to. Now, a couple caveats. I did not go to the grocery I still haven't, for the entire month because I have a huge pantry, y'all. Did I always eat what I wanted to? Why, no, I did not. Just saying. But it kind of, see if I can do this without crying. My mom was an amazing cook, but we didn't always have money, y'all. I was never poverty level. I never went hungry, But again, a lot of times I had food that I didn't want. I always knew that things were very lean when we had salt pork. If you've never had salt pork, it literally makes your mouth pucker. It is kind of a Appalachian thing. Like a piece of salt pork might be used to flavor a big bag mess of beans, right? But sometimes we had it as our meat, and I just couldn't eat it, guys. Never been a heavy salt consumer. I might have a little nibble of it, but whew, Lord, your mouth would pucker up. So I know my mom had to be really creative, and I'm trying to be creative and utilize some of her recipes. Anyway, I digress. So how did I end up, and what can I share with you? Well, I went at this like, let me see what bills that I consider like, I can't do anything about it. Let me see what I can do about it, because they do fluctuate. And the first thing was my homeowners. Guys, I did a partial video and I was so out of breath. I can't remember if I told you this, but I'll tell you again. I happened to have an appointment with my financial advisor. No, I'm not rich. He manages my retirement funds. They do my taxes and I have all my insurance there. So I go twice a year. And his suggestion was, look, you've got this IRA, was a 401k, now it's called an IRA. You have enough money in that. Guys, I'm hoping money my son can inherit that I won't need to use for my healthcare needs, but it's there if I have to. He said, you've got enough money in there. Raise your homeowner deductible from $1,000 to $5,000. Now, some of you may say, oh, that's a big risk. It really isn't. For me, I don't feel that way because it's going to save me $712 a year. Now, if you do the math, it'll take me a little more than 7 years to recoup that. But I don't plan on having a homeowner's claim. Now, you never know. If the house burns down, well, okay, here's my $5,000. But hopefully that will keep me from just paying and paying and paying. The second thing I did, which I know I've shared, is I decided to go apply for, haven't heard back, for the homestead exemption. If you want to know what it is in your state, Google homestead exemption, Montana, California, wherever you are. I don't know if every state has it. I know Ohio does because I've had many relatives that have talked about it. So in Ohio, if you're 65 or older, make less than $40,000, kind of just told my income, didn't I? And this is your primary residence for 6 months or greater through the year, you may be eligible for a homestead exemption. And guys, I'm going to go blow my nose. Hold on. When I do a video, 2 things are going to happen. 3, I'll get short of breath. My nose will run and I'll have the hiccups. You know, I'm like a total mess. I don't even know why you watch me. All right, back to homestead exemption. It has nothing to do with having a homestead as we think of it in 2025. In Ohio, they will take $26,200 off the assessed value of your home for tax purposes. So I don't know what that will be. It won't be a lot of money. So what I did need to do as I budgeted for September is say, okay, where am I as far as when these things are due? So my taxes are due in February. And my insurance is due in December. So because I have not been, setting funds aside, I won't have that full amount saved, but I will going forward. And at least the amount I will owe should be a little less. So what I did was I took the $200 I have set aside for insurance because I'll have a new rate and I will get a refund check for those months, which I'll just put straight into savings to pay. I now need $188. I put $200 of that into savings, $300, even though it's $375, towards my taxes because that's the money that I have and I have it budgeted. So that really is going to help me save money. But then I realized, Kim, you didn't put in your car insurance. And it is due, it's not nearly as bad. It's not due till May. And so it's $97 a month. Guys, when you get older, your insurance goes up. And I consider it a newer car. It's 6 years old anyway. And it's paid for, but I have full coverage. So I'm going to start in September saving money for that. So that helped me. Groceries. Y'all, I'm ashamed of myself how much food I have that has gone to waste or may go to waste because it is so far out past the expiration date, or I have some 4-year-old canned goods, home canned goods in my pantry. No one needs all that. I need to be a better steward of my food. So I'm not punishing myself. I'm just trying to eat what I have. So what's on the agenda for today? I have some elbow macaroni. Not my favorite thing. Guys, I'm not a pasta eater, but I love salmon patties. And I have some salmon that its best by date was June. So guys, I eat things way past that. And they're usually fine. I always check it, but they're usually fine. You saw my applesauce debacle, so you know that I always check everything. But that saved me. I had budgeted $375. And then I took the Walmart renewal out of that, which went up from $89 to $105. Wait, what? Yeah. And it didn't leave me much money, but I didn't need any of it. And then my eating out, guys, I did so good. I love me a good Wendy's hamburger, and when I'm just like, I gotta have something that I want, not something that's here at the house that I gotta cook. I had a Wendy's hamburger yesterday because Uncle Steve was here, and he did a beautiful job, guys. He painted the coop for me until he cleaned it out, and the girly girls who love him were so excited. And now, in addition to 2 broody hens, I've got 2 molting hens. The barred rocks are molting. Anyway, so I did have some unexpected cost for medication that Medicare's now decided it's not going to cover. So that will have to be added in for September's budget. I did great on fuel, guys. I filled up 1 time. And what I can say is, even though sometimes I want to run, I like running. I like going for just a drive. I've quit all that. So I budgeted 90. I spent about 30. So I did really well on that. My oil change is not due probably until September, maybe October, because I don't drive very much. But I will have the money sitting there in my checking account. I've laid that aside. A bad surprise for me was my electric bill. I had told you guys it was like some outrageous amount. I don't remember, 220 or something like that. Well, I thought it would be a lot better for August. It was still $201.72, and I only budgeted $200, so it was $1.72 off. So what have I done? Y'all, it's blessedly cool. We're having a cool down. We're going to have lows in the 40s tonight. So I don't need any AC, but I actually turned off my AC when it was still reaching the low 80s. And I'm, with my breathing trouble, I do have an air conditioner in the bedroom, which pulls a lot of power, but I've set that on a timer, so I'm using it less. It's more about low humidity and cleaning the air for me at night when I sleep. So what else have I done? Well, y'all, I've pulled out my oil lamps. So let me show you real quick what I'm doing. And if y'all watch Tessie, you know, and I hope you do watch Homestead Tessie. If you don't, y'all are missing out. You want to talk about somebody that can talk about frugal living, that'd be Tessie. All right, so I cleaned this globe yesterday. I love this lamp. Obviously the globe is newer than the base. The base is very, very old. But I like the collar on this. I like the wick. It's bright enough that I light it in the morning. When I get up, I light a candle in the kitchen, and that's my electricity until I go up and get ready for the day. I have to clean the globe a lot, but I have, Lord, I don't know, half a dozen of them, different places in the house. And you do have to be careful, guys. They are a fire hazard. If you have littles, the globe gets hot. If, you know, you have animals that might knock it over, could start a fire. They don't explode like they used to, but you have to buy wicks and you have to buy fuel. But I have a gracious plenty of both. So I'm trying some things, and I love using the oil lamps. It's a very peaceful, old-fashioned feeling. It reminds me of when I was a youngster and we would have power outages. And my dad would take the hibachi. If you know what a hibachi is, a hibachi grill, stick it in the fireplace. We had 2 wood-burning fireplaces. And of course, we were heating with one or both of them if it was in the winter. And he would cook for us. And my dad couldn't cook very many things, but he could cook a good steak. So he would make a steak, and that was really cool. And we'd have oil lamps and such. Anyway, I'm starting to go down memory lane, aren't I? So that was a good wake-up call that I need to decrease my electric usage. Here's the other thing, guys. I did have solar panels, and I did have a new Beast power station, which I gave to my son, and I don't regret that. He lives in an area where he has a power outage like 2 times a month, and he does not have a whole house generator. I do. So I just need to use less. So I've unplugged. Guys, anything with the remote is going to pull phantom power because it has to be at the ready at all times. Unplug your things on remotes that you don't use regularly. So cable box is probably the biggest electrical pull for phantom power in your home. I don't have cable, but I have DVD players and things like that. I just need to, you know, make sure I keep all that unplugged unless I'm using it. And I'm hoping to see that difference come September's bill. Let's see, my electric bill comes about the 18th of the month, you know, so mid-month. I'll get kind of an update on where I am. So stay tuned for that. I also had turned up the temperature on my central air by a couple degrees to try to offset some of the cost. So we'll see how well that worked. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Eyelashes. I think I've already shared this. Having some problems with eyelashes. Not gonna blame my eyelash lady, but fact of the matter is, guys, it's really expensive. I was spending on an average month about $170 that I don't need to spend. I have scads of makeup. I just need to wear it. Y'all don't laugh at me. I do wear foundation and such, but I don't wear eye makeup as a normal rule. So when I don't have lashes, because I don't know how to do it. I just look so bare, and I don't want to look like a painted lady. Yeah, so I'll figure that out. Anyway, so that's saving me money. I did get my CEUs done. You'll be happy to know. Paid for my license, got my certs for my continuing ed. So that's all done for another year. Pets. Let me talk a little bit about pets. Guys, I went and did an inventory. And y'all can't see my garage. So bad. I had 2 bags of chicken feed that I didn't know I had. I did. So I will be feeding out those 2 bags of feed. It's a little less than 2 months, but I put in half a bag of feed is in their feeder already, so I won't really need to purchase anything. And I just got straw. Well, Steve picked it up for me, but I just bought straw, which is $7.47 a bale. It takes 1 bale to muck out the coop. Pretty soon I'm going to need bedding, but I have 1 more nighttime coop fill before I have to do that. So I'm not going to put any money aside. Frankie eats 1 thing and 1 thing only, which is, oops, I'm bleeding, orange Imes. And good Lord. Y'all, I fell down. Yeah, you can see it. scraped my elbow too. I didn't realize that until a couple of days ago. Anyway, so my pets aren't costing me a ton of money. They give me a lot of love. I give them a lot of love, and they're very well worth every penny. And if I had to really squeeze in, let's say something dramatic happened, pets would not be the first thing to go. Let me just share that. So I have off in an envelope the $500 I mentioned for the homeowners and my taxes that's going to go into savings today. And then in my checking, I have $400 that I had put in our little folders for bills I've paid or extra money I had left. So it looks like to me I'm going to be about $950 up for the month. I may only be $9 up for the month because, again, I have one bill I haven't paid, which is about $55, but they haven't sent me the bill. So, yo, I am so sorry about being distracted here. So what I did was I took all that information and I did a new budget for September. And I have to tell you, I feel so empowered just knowing, like, okay, this is due here, this is due there. I don't have to go to the mailbox and be like, oh crap, homeowner's insurance is due. That's $4,500.09, and that is exactly how much it is, guys. I did a lot. I was allotting $375 for groceries. I put $200 down, y'all, because I don't think I need $375 worth of food. Would I like that? I would. I like to go, and even if I'm just going to Aldi, oh my word, you know, the Isle of Shame, if you've ever heard of it, they have all of these like seasonal things that are super cool. Yeah, I don't need to be spending money on that. I don't need to. You okay, Pooh Pie? You waiting on the girlfriend? She be here. He's like, I'm waiting on her. She pretty. Frankie wouldn't know what to do with the girl. He was neutered at 6 months. So he just thinks she's pretty, and she is pretty. Anyway, so I'm going to try. What I did, guys, and this is what I really suggest, that helped me save a lot of money if you have a long-term pantry. And Tessie had a 3-year pantry, and she's got it down to 1 year. So here's my little, isn't this cute? Spells to cast, and it's almost empty, but what's on my list? Things I can't produce or buy easily. So I'm diabetic. I buy the Splenda brown sugar, and guys, I've been eating oatmeal every day. It's so cheap. So I was like, oh, I need quick oats, because I like the quick oats for breakfast. I like the whole oats, the rolled oats for cooking. Guys, I found this morning a big one that had not been opened, and a little one that hadn't been opened, that had gotten shoved back in the pantry. I need to do a full pantry clean out when my breathing is a little bit better. So, check. So I was able to cross that off. Sour cream, because I can't produce that. Potatoes, because I love a good baked potato meal with a little, what I go. Hold on, apologize, guys. My Frankie has accidents. And I could tell by the way he was acting, he was about to pee on the floor. I caught him in time. Okay. I love a good baked potato bar. I love just put in cheese, sour cream, butter. I'm not a meat eater, so a baked potato meal sounds so good to me. You can do them in the air fryer, so it doesn't use as much electricity. I have here mayo. Guys, I'm so sorry. The hiccups. Can you imagine going through life like this? You should see me at a dentist appointment, because it gets worse when I get nervous. Anyway, I can make my own mayo. However, with 2 molting hens and 2 broody hens, I'm not getting a lot of eggs. Like, I won't be able to fill my egg orders this week. I don't have enough eggs. I might be able to spare a dozen, but that's about it. So I was gonna make my own eggs, but make my own eggs, yeah. Make my own mayonnaise, but I'm not sure I can do that. All right. Good boy, Frankie. That's a good boy. Yes, you are. You almost didn't make it. All right. I had cheese on here. Guys, I was in the freezer and I've got Tillamook cheese in the freezer. Is cheese perfect once it's been in the freezer? Not necessarily. Is it edible and tasty? Absolutely. So, oh, and I didn't mention I'm saving money on hair color too. Every time I look at myself, I'm like, oh my gosh. I haven't let my hair grow out, guys, in over 30 years. So, okay, anyway. Another thing, and I've shared this before, I use Liquid IV, which is a hydration booster, and I've been using it. I use 2 packets at a time every single day. It was very expensive, and my son found it at Sam's, so he buys it for me. I PayPal him the money or Venmo him the money or Cash App him the money, whichever one he's using at the moment. And then when he comes down or I go up, I pick it up. Well, I've been out. And I was like, I'm going to have to place an order because I'm out. Well, guys, I seem to be doing okay without it. I'm not on the chemo anymore. So I don't have as many restroom issues and vomiting issues as I did. Okay, that's enough about that. So I've crossed it off. And then I rewrote it, and now I'll cross it off again. Okay, another thing, guys, I've got enough beans for all of us. All of my 8,047 subscribers. I have beans for you. Now, I shouldn't say that. I love beans. I love any kind of beans. I want to can some more beans. I need to do an inventory, but I love having I like the dried beans, but I like having the pre-canned beans on the shelf as well. I like to keep dried beans because in extreme conditions, you can plant and grow them. All right? But I don't have rice. Guys, I don't really like rice. Not my thing. When I was a kid, my mom went through, we call it her Asian phase. And like I said, my mom was a wonderful cook. And it wasn't the food wasn't good, but we had so much rice. I figured I was part Asian by the time she got through her Asian cooking phase. I got burnt out on it. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I like it with what I call gravy. So what I like to do is take chicken, pan sear it, not deep fried or anything, and I use a little bit of butter, and believe it or not, a little bit of the powdered broth or bouillon or whatsoever in it, so it's high in sodium. And then you take a can of cream of chicken soup or your cream of something soup. And y'all, I have a video on how to make cream of something soup if you've never seen it. It's very simple. It's very delicious. Anyway, and you make a gravy, you put a little water in it, so it's got butter, good, salt, good. I'm not a big salt eater, but at any rate, I like that over rice. That would stretch my budget a lot because rice is not terribly expensive. I want the pouches, but I'm going to price it because sometimes Aldi has the pouches, so you just nuke them really cheap because it doesn't pay me to make a big quantity of rice because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, it's going to go to waste. I'm not going to freeze it. I'm not going to vacuum seal it and freeze it. It's going to go in the garbage. So, yeah, I want a little bit of rice somehow. And then I'll talk about creamer. Guys, I love me some half and half, right? And so I was using that because powdered creamer's full of crap, but I ran out of my creamer. So I found a big canister of creamer. It was better than halfway full. I'm still using it. And I also have some whole milk freeze-dried powder. So I'm going to try to use all that up before I use my creamer. I haven't checked off some of these things. Okay, next is bacon. Guys, I love me some bacon, and with this fall weather, I love to cook breakfast in my outdoor kitchen, and I haven't done that at all. Don't know if I'll have any eggs to go with it, but I have lots of freeze-dried eggs that I could reconstitute. So I do want some bacon, because I don't have any. I've checked the freezer, etc. Okay, here's my guilty pleasure. I would like some Coke Zero. I don't drink a ton of pop, but occasionally I like that. And especially since I don't have my liquid IV, because I make a liquid IV in a 40 ouncer. It lasts me all day, right? That's why it's 2 packs. So my son tells me that Aldi has their own takeoff of a diet cola that's really good. He doesn't drink diet, but people at work do. So I'm gonna give it a try because it's $3.55, I think, a 12-pack. Guys, right now, I checked on Walmart, it's I'm not dyslexic, but I might be, 68 or 7.86 for a 12-pack of Coke Zero. Okay, sorry. Cooking spray, I don't have any. I thought I might have another, you know, the kind you spray the pans with. That is a convenience item. I've tried the pump it up things. They don't last for me. And I had a Pampered Chef one and I didn't like it. And then the last thing on my list is I eat a lot of mints, like the Lifesaver mints. They're $12 for a big bag. So I'm kind of fussing with myself over that. But that's what I've come up with in the last month. Certainly not anything that I can't live without. The only real meal thing is the potatoes, because I will make a meal out of that. And just some cooking things. So kind of revise the way you think about your food budget. I don't like buying convenience items. I did while I was so sick and on chemo, and I call it sick. I don't know what else to call it, guys. Forgive me. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we can do a little series on saving money in the kitchen. Oh, and I'm also making all my own bread now. And y'all, I did a video on this. Let me show you right quick. But I didn't post it because I was so flipping short of breath. So this, I made it in the bread machine. It's amazing. Oh, there you go. Let me show you the crumb on this. Look at this. Is that not beautiful? I think it's beautiful. It's not cut very evenly. This is maple buttermilk bread. Guys, I have a gallon jug of buttermilk powder that I got from Azure. It's still fine. And I have about half of a half gallon of maple syrup. It only takes 3 tablespoons. And I bought that thinking, well, I make bread once a week. Well, I haven't been for like 6 months. It is so delicious. And I have literally hundreds of recipes I can make. I found one that uses anise seed. I love anise seed. So that would not be like an everyday sandwich bread, but it would be good. So, you know, rethink some of the things that take a little time. Make the time. See if there's time in your day that is wasted. I waste a lot of time because I can. And maybe incorporate some more home cooking might help your budget. So, it looks like Uncle Steve is messaging me, so I'm gonna want to wrap this up. So I got paid. I'm gonna pay out whatever bills come through the 31st, and then I will get my money and put it in my cash stuffing envelopes. But I want to show you something. You can use Monopoly money, guys, and I probably will start doing that. But I really like having the cash. It really makes me aware. It feels super real. So this is the teller sheet. So what I do is I have written out my budget here. So in other words, for my gas, natural gas, $55. So I would mark a 1 on the 50, a 1 on the 5. Electric, $200. 2 slashes for hundreds. So this will give me exact amounts. I don't have to guess. And I can simply, I've seen these cards that have been laminated that you can dry erase. I don't have a laminator, but I can just hand this to the teller and say, I want to pull 1914 out because these are my bills. This is what I know I have. I'm going to leave the rest of my money in the bank because as my checking account balance rises, I'm going to move it over to savings. And then when some of those sinking fund bills like that come once a year hit, I will have money to do that. So this is a real handy thing. I need to put that in my pocketbook. So I actually had $422 left in my, you know, for bills I paid and that in my folders. So I have $22 here. And I'm going to hiccup about, right? So one of the savings challenges I was doing is the 100 envelope challenge, where, you know, day 1 you put $1, day 2 you put $2, day 3 you put $3, etc. I am whopping up to day 9. I got 9. So I'm going to hold that aside. Honestly, guys, when you're on a low income, I'm not going to be able to deposit all of these amounts. It's almost overwhelming to me. Could I modify it and say, let me put a $5 bill in every slot, and at the end of the 100 period, I will have $500? Way more reasonable. Because if you do it like they say, you'll have $5,050, which I'd love to have. Thank you very much. You can do a 30-day savings challenge, and this is what you put in each time you deposit. I'm not going to say every day, for a total of $300, or a 52-week challenge where you do $50 a week, and you'll have $2,600. This is a little unapproachable for me. And maybe I just like the scratch-offs. I don't know. But this little thing, I got it off Amazon, and it's so flippin' cute. You just scratch it off, and whatever it says goes in this envelope. And when you complete a challenge, then you turn the page. So let me see if I can get us down here. And y'all might notice I got a little decor going on. I'm going to try my pin cap. We'll see if it works. Oh, no, it doesn't. That reminds me, a lot of people will save their coins, their silvers, and cash those in as savings. I watch a channel I absolutely love. Young gal in her 30s, 2 children, married, lives in Oregon. She says all this. She's 36. Her name is Amanda. And Life Unfiltered is her channel. And she talks a lot about the realities of living on a low income. And they do a lot of side hustles and such. Really fun channel to watch. And she's the one that got me into this. But anyway, I found a quarter. Okay. So we've got a $2. Can y'all see that? Ooh, that's shiny. Let's get the rest of that off of there. All right. So let me set this aside. I've got all this money, so I may have to put it in odd amounts. Okay. And we got the $1, so we're up to 3. Let's see. Well, this thing is going to just give me a hard time. Okay, so now we're up to 4. I guess all the big ones were up top. Okay, now we're up to 6. So we've done a 2 and a 2 is 4, and 1 and 1 is 6. And then our last one, we'll be able to put this one aside, is a $5 one. So there you have it, guys. A little bit of fun savings that makes you feel good. So let's see. I have $23 in here. So it'd be 33, 34. And this is, okay, now this one is a $65 savings challenge. So it's a little bit more, and I've only scratched 1 for 10. I don't have a dice handy, so this is a $66 savings challenge, but you know me and my love of Halloween. Let's scratch off one of these. I don't think any of them are over 10. Okay, so that's a 7. I just don't have the right amounts. Well, when all else fails, rob Peter to pay Paul. Because I am going to consider, we'll just take the one out of here. I'm going to consider, whoops, now they're falling. Money's falling everywhere. I'm going to consider holding off on that because of my income right now and my expenses. Okay, so that's given us 15, 18. Let's see, let me go back here. That one's all scratched off. We still have $5 to play with. I want to play with the $5. Okay, well, we can always rob Peter to pay Paul. And, of course, it's a 10. So, maybe this was a sign from the Lord, right? We'll put the 1 back in here. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're still saving. I think this is unapproachable for me given my income. Okay, guys, so 10, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8, even though 6 of that went someplace else. So I'll add my updates to this envelope. And that's going to do it for the budget. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my word. You know, I put some dry shampoo in my hair trying to cover it up because it leaves kind of a white residue. That may be why it looks so bright. So let me go answer Uncle Steve, see what he's up to, because now that I'm into a new budget month, even though he was just here yesterday, I need to know what to budget for September. That's my only outstanding. So anyway, until I see you all again, I hope you're enjoying these little budget fun things and the Euro Wizard scratch off type stuff. And I hope that I can give you some savings ideas. There will be more to come. We'll be doing some, I don't want to say low income cooking, but like budget cooking on a budget. And as we get into the switch from high electric bills to high gas bills, how you can save money doing that. Y'all, I have a lot of bubble wrap on my windows and it isn't pretty, but it really helps. But some of it I've taken down because I use the windows and you can't raise the windows with stuff on it. So we'll be doing some re-insulation. So that will be going into our October budget. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I would appreciate your continued prayers, y'all. We never know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know. Guys, I don't know where this cancer journey is going to take me. You know, I believe the Lord can and will heal me, but might go down some roads in between. I am not a pretty crier. You know how some women just look beautiful? The only thing I can say is my eyes get like neon blue because of the increased blood flow. But I get the red nose and a red nose under here. And I'm not a pretty crier. No. Jesus did not give me that. I'm saying. But at any rate, I appreciate your continued prayers. If I disappear for a little bit, I always try to leave an update in the community tab so that you know what's going on with me. You know how I am when I'm on steroids. If y'all remember when I was on my chemo and I would get my IV steroids, I said steroids are a liar because you would think you could do everything for one day. So that may be coming up. All right, guys, y'all take care. Please smash that like button on the way out. If you know someone who would benefit from some budgeting ideas, please share my video. There's a little share arrow down below. You click on that. It'll pop up any social media options or texting options that you have so that you can actually share this video. So until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.